what do you know now about becoming a wife and a mother that you didn't know before you allowed that space?
I think what I know now that I didn't know then is that being a wife and a mother requires so much of you really loving yourself deeply first.
Yeah. What's up, family? This is Sarah Jakes Roberts, and you are listening to the Woman Evolve podcast. I pray that this podcast is finding you at a time where you need a little bit more light and a little bit more love, because what's about to happen to you, you're just not prepared for it. My conversation with Bresha Webb, it's a joy. This was my first time meeting her. She knew my husband from his ministry in Los Angeles, but this was my first time getting to meet her. We follow each other on social media. And let me tell you, it brought so much joy to my day. I can't wait to get into this conversation. But I want to answer some of the questions that you all have sent me. And I was thinking that I was going to do two today, because the first one, I don't really feel like I have good advice to give you, but you sent it to me, and I at least want to acknowledge that you sent it to me, and to also let you know that I don't always feel the need to have like advice for every situation, but I at least wanted to give a scenario in which that happened. And there's another one that's like business related. And so, okay, let's get into it. I want to play first the one that I am not equipped to answer fully.
Hey, Sarah, this is Bethany calling from Chicago. So I'm a little bit older. I've been married, and now I'm divorced. I've been dealing with this guy, a different guy, on and off for 2 years, very much avoidant behavior. So I'm ready to get rid of him, but I know he's trying to draw me back in already. He hit me this weekend with, I want to see other people. And I said, no, I'm looking for exclusivity because I know I'm worth it. My question is, if I feel like there's a calling of marriage on my life, I'm getting real tired and weary of just waiting and praying to God, God, bring the right one, take out all these jokers. Do you have any advice? Because I'm really getting tired. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
As it relates to dating, the reason why I try to limit my advice in this area is because I've been married 12 years. I have an ignorance about what it's like to date, what it's like to be single. And, I'm not always sure that I can add value to women who are trying to navigate dating and relationships, considering that I've been out the game for a little minute. But there are a few things that I want to just highlight about what you said. You take to the Lord in prayer and do what you got to do next. You said you was trying to get rid of them. So, if you was trying to get rid of him, it sounded like he kind of did you a favor, because he came to you and asked you for something that is a non-starter for you. And so it sounds like the Lord made a way of escape for you. But it also sounds like you tired of dealing with these jokers and you ready for the real. Won't the real man please stand up? I do not know exactly what it is that you're looking for in a partner, what the criteria is. I'm not about to hit you with one of those like, oh, you have so much work to do, and when you get the work done, then someone will show up into your life, because there are plenty of people who have not done any work who have ended up in a relationship. I will say that the times may require you to be more open to the different ways that love can show up in your life. I have a few friends who are in a similar situation where they're like, hey, I feel like I'm a good woman. I want partnership in my life, but I'm not willing to compromise on character values. There may be some things that you may need to be open to if you're really in a stage where you're like, Lord, I don't know how you're going to bless me, but I want to be open. Ethnicity may be something that you may need to be open to. Maybe height. I don't know. Maybe the fashion's not a killer. I don't know. You know what I mean? Some things are things that can grow and evolve. There are other things that I feel like should definitely be non-negotiables. And so like really making sure that you're in a space where you're like, okay, Lord, I don't want to be superficial or monolithic in my definition of what love has to look like. I'm gonna say that. Last thing I'm gonna say is this: I believe that every woman owes it to herself to find a life that she loves and enjoys outside of partnership. That does not mean that you won't have moments when you're lonely. It doesn't mean that you won't have moments where you want companionship in your life. That's normal. We were not meant to do life alone. And sometimes when we're looking to have connection in life, we reduce it down to just having romantic partnerships, when there are many ways in which we can experience community and connection that aren't necessarily romantic. And so have those moments where it's like, hey, I got my girlfriend, but I wish there was a warm body next to me. Okay. You're going to have those moments to be like, you know what? That person who has those values, the character, the integrity that I desire has not shown up in my life. And so I'm going to get me a body pillow and I'm going to keep it trucking. And then I'm going to do something that I enjoy, that feeds me, that allows me to feel seen, loved, and valued. And to be okay with those moments where I'm going to grieve the fact that I don't have someone all the time, but that grief isn't going to take me out or make me feel like my life is worthless and that it's not worth living. That's what I have for you. Take it to the Lord in prayer. Listen, I'm going to need the girls who wear sports bras all day to hear me clearly come to the front. For the longest time, I thought discomfort was just part of the experience with wearing a bra. Either the straps were digging into my shoulders, the band felt way too tight, or by the end of the day, I was ready to snatch the whole thing off in the parking lot before I even made it home. But then I tried Honey Love's Cross Flex Activity Bra, and baby, completely different experience. It gives support without feeling stiff or suffocating, and I love that it actually gives shape and separation while still being comfortable enough to wear all day. Plus, the hook and eye back makes it so much easier to put on and take off. No wrestling match required. I can wear it from work to a walk, running, errands, traveling, or just everyday life and still feel supported and comfortable. Honestly, Honey Love has become one of my go-to brands because they really understand what women actually need when it comes to support and comfort. Treat yourself to the most advanced bras and shapewear on the market. Use our exclusive link to save 20% off Honey Love at honeylove.com/woman. That's honeylove.com/woman. After you check out, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Experience the new standard in comfort and support with Honey Love. Okay, so let's get into the next question. This one's about business, and I thought it was really interesting.
Hi, Sarah. I am one of your longtime fans, and you've helped me through some very, very difficult seasons of life. And I was just wanting to know if you could help in the area of business. So if you started a business and, really thought that that was something that you wanted to do and that you dreamed of doing it, and you started it and then you figured out, and maybe it wasn't for me. Maybe it was something that I desired, but not the desire of God. Now trying to reshape how I look at things. What's your thoughts on a desire versus God's will to do something, especially when it seems very hard in all aspects of life? Thank you.
This reminds me, I can totally relate. Thank you so much, one, for tuning in and trusting me with this question. I can relate. When I first started Woman Evolve, I launched our social media, the conference, the podcast, and an online store all at the same time, all four of those things. And it was my idea that, okay, one, I didn't want to just invite people to a conference. And so the podcast was like a way for me to connect with people, outside of the conference, and for them to get to know me to get to know them. And then I don't know why I started the online store. I think it was I was already kind of doing fashion and stuff. So I was like, you know what, we're going to do all of these things. What I realized in launching the store is that that don't have nothing to do with me. I am not going, when I saw my friend Jason launch his store, Stylish J Bolin, he launched his store. Jay would post every single day, multiple times a day. He'd be on live, like showcasing the fashion. And the only way from a business perspective for it to make sense for you to have a store is if you are willing to market it in such a way that there is visibility and there's profitability. Otherwise, you're just sinking it. And what I know about myself is that, like, when it's time for me to launch a book, I have to believe in the message so much that I am willing to overcome the hurdles of marketing in order to do it. I'm not the type to ask anyone to do anything. I do not want to be, it's just not for me. It's just not for me. I don't have what it takes to be like, oh, y'all got to get this. Y'all got to get this. You're going to love it so much. It's going to look so good on you. Like, to me, and listen, it's trauma. It's not coming from a healed place. There's a part of me that just doesn't want to ask anyone to do anything or to make anyone think that I need them or I need their support or any of that. And it's trauma. Hello, I said it's trauma. It's Mental Health Awareness Month, and know where your triggers are, okay? But marketing is too much like begging for me. And so I'm not good at that. That's not my strength. I have to hire people who help to frame it in a way that feels authentic and organic for me, because I just don't like it. And that's a lot of our problems, is we have ideas, but we don't want to tell people about it because we don't want people to think that we need them or da-da-da-da. But I think for me, it comes down to the only time that I am willing to overcome that is when I believe that the message, the moment, the whatever is worthy of me overcoming those insecurities to do it. But to just be doing it for the store is not for me. Anyways, I say this to say that sometimes we find out, and nobody wants to hear this, but I can back it up in scripture. Sometimes we find out the will of God for our lives by finding out what wasn't the will of God for our lives, for us to be standing into something and to feel like, you know what, I don't feel your grace on this, or I've had to become someone that is a departure from my integrity in order to sustain the moment that's in front of me. And when I say I can back it up in scripture, I'm going to take you to Genesis, to the father of faith, Abraham, who got out of his father's house to the land that God would show him, and then ended up in a land where he was lying about Sarah being his wife because he didn't want the people to try and kill him, to be like, it was a whole thing. And the Lord was like, ain't nobody even told you to do that. Go back to where you started from, build an altar, and wait to hear from me again. What that shows me as it relates to the human experience and searching out the will of God is that we can take one step that is certainly the will of God. I got out of my father's house. I applied to school. I did X, Y, and Z. And then when we're standing in it, we still have to be dependent on what is the next step. It may mean I need to change my major, or that this business isn't for me. And sometimes through error, our vision for next is fine-tuned. And so that is why you have to get to a place where you are not afraid of failure. Because if you are afraid of failure, you will never fully experience destiny, because failure is a part of discovering destiny. And until you get to a place where you can accept that I am going to have to fail my way forward in order to figure out what's for me and what's not for me, and I am okay with that, you are going to find yourself stagnant and never having full visibility about what's for you. And so when I'm in one of those moments where I'm trying to discern what is warfare and what is redirection, it comes down to, who have I had to become in order to maintain it, sustain it? What is the outcome? What will the finished product produce? What is the fruit going to look like? And who benefits from that fruit? Who benefits from that fruit? For me, I really do feel like Stylish J Bolin is anointed to help people see themselves the way that God sees them. He's got just an eye to help people really step into the reality being fearfully and wonderfully made in a way that shows up in their outward expression. Like, Jay is anointed to do that. I am not anointed to do that. There are things that I love to put on, but I should not be the one looking at things like, oh, this is going to make a woman who's gone through a hard time feel empowered. This is going to make her feel confident. I like what I like, and maybe if you like it, you should get it too. But like, I cannot build a business around me telling you the things that I like and hope that you will like them too. I just don't have the passion to do that. So understanding like where your limits are, for me, it comes down to, is this important? Is this important to God? Is this establishing the kingdom of heaven? Is this maximizing my gifts and talents? For me, as it relates to what we do at Woman Evolve, God made it very clear to me that this had to be a space where any woman from any walk of life could come in and not feel othered and not feel alienated, and where she must have an authentic encounter with God and to leave with a desire to really live her life for God and to dive deeper into what that must look like. And so there's a tension that I live in. And like, how do we make sure that this feels accessible for everyone, no matter what walk of life that they are in? And also, how do I make sure that it is Holy Ghost filled, anointed, biblical, and that it is really making someone become curious about who God is and what God can do in their lives? And so, those parameters in which I live in help me to understand, like, sometimes, things maybe we went too far trying to make sure that no one was felt alienated. Maybe there was a better way to do that. Maybe there was a different song or a different speaker that we could have used in order to make sure that that person felt seen and welcomed. And then, so it's a balancing act. And if you are afraid of failing or afraid of getting it wrong, you may not always get there. And then I think that if you have a business and that business is not necessarily ministry, like, this is not necessarily the thing that is going to be saving anyone's life or helping anyone become better, I think that that's okay too. Like, you can be honest about, like, this is purely a business. Now, what I do with the profit from that business may allow me to sustain others in my community. It may allow me to fund the vision of what God has in someone else's life. Like, I am okay having a business where I can use my gifts and talents to ultimately leverage it towards something that is going to benefit the kingdom of heaven. But I think when that is the perspective that you have, when it comes down to, like, how do I know what's for me, what's not for me? Like, does it make sense business wise? Like, then if it's a business and we're depending on the profit of that business to fund something that God wants to do in the earth, then you just got to make sure that the business side of it makes sense. And if not, like, is this a sustainable business to help me get to the profit margin that allows me to do X, Y, and Z? And if not, then revisiting the business structure or the idea, and being willing to pivot if necessary. So I hope that helps you. I cannot wait for you all to hear this episode. With it being the last episode for Mental Health Awareness Month, I feel like it's just going to offer so much joy. And random awkward moments. I hope you enjoy it. Bresha was honestly a gift. She is an actress. She's from Baltimore. Her parents celebrated her individuality in a way that made it her comfortable to be herself no matter what. And I think those of you who may be familiar with her comedy already know what to expect. For those of you who don't, you are in for an incredible ride. There were some things that she said throughout our conversation that I felt like was just conscious parenting from her parents' side at a time where it wasn't being celebrated as much as it is now. And then there was something else that we talked about. Her father's passed away, and we just had this moment where we realized that, like, we're moving into this stage where, like, our parents are aging. They are accepting that they have more life behind them than ahead of them, and the toll that that takes on us. And I really appreciated just that moment that we had in which we realized what it meant to be women who are navigating life and its complexities in a way that can be heartbreaking, but also joyful through the people who God brings into our life. She talks about so much in this conversation that I think that you all are going to enjoy. I do not want to belabor it any longer. Let's get into it. Well, our theme this year at Woman Evolve is all about going rogue.
I see.
And so for us, it's examining the things in our life that we have maybe accepted as normal that aren't healthy or maybe don't align with, like, who we know we're supposed to be in the highest version of ourselves. And we're challenging women to, like, break out of those boxes, out of fear and out of insecurity.
I love it.
So I'm wondering, like, what does going rogue look like for you?
I think I just said it earlier. I think that's just who I am. I'm always a person that has gone rogue. I mean, I wouldn't have left Baltimore City if I didn't go rogue and just decided to be different or be myself, which is awkward and loud and joyful all the time in spite of what might have been the norm around me, you know? So, yeah, I feel like that is me. I've always been independently me, you know, and been really cool with that.
I'm like you've never had to fight for that. I'm intrigued by that because I've like struggled with low self-esteem and insecurities, and like being myself has always felt like this journey. Like, how have you protected yourself from like the pressure to be someone else or to, you know, subscribe to someone else's definition of who you're supposed to be given who you are and the successes you've had?
I think it's being delusional.
Period.
You know, I feel like, yeah, you know, of course, insecurities and all of that stuff, and seeing other people and seeing what they have and what, you know, they have naturally. And you're like, wow, I really, you know, give it up to my parents for always just saying, you're different. And that's cool. We're going to just pour into all of your things that make you special. And mine were my acting and dancing and bubbly personality. And they said, okay, we're going to get you in dance classes. We're going to put you in whatever you are really interested in. Yeah, so I just was able to find my voice and really find my own individuality through their lens of what that was. And they were their own individuals, you know?
That I feel like that is such a unique experience with your upbringing where like parents like took the time to like see you, to see your interests, your talents, and then to platform those and give you an opportunity to explore them. How does that shape the way that you're parenting?
Absolutely every day. You know, I'm so excited and just thrilled to be a part of this little person's life. And I also have a bonus daughter who's 10 next week. And I'm just so excited that I get to be a part of their journey because it's their journey. And I can just help them and guide them and expose them to as many things as I can so that they can choose and decide and figure out who they want to be. You know, I don't feel like we're here as guiders, you know? Like, I just want to be the best guider, you know, and assist God to do whatever he's doing through them, but also through me, be able to expose them to whatever they want to be exposed to.
Now, you told me when you were growing up, like you had a liberal household and that you guys were able to like talk about different things. Now that you're like the one who is creating the environment for the conversations to happen, do you feel like any reservations about talking about certain things, or because you had such an open childhood, it just comes naturally to you?
I think it just comes naturally to me. You know, of course, I mean, when it hits you in the face, you're just going to have to deal with it, you know? Nothing crazy has hit me across the face. I'm like, oh my God, we're going to have to talk about that, you know? I welcome it, you know? I really want to know what they're thinking about, you know? Like, how can I help you come to your understanding of where you are, whether it's, I mean, if I'm going to be honest, you know, a menstrual cycle or, you know, what are you trying to figure out? Can I share my experience with you so that we can come to a common understanding or just grow into it, you know? And maybe you can teach me something. Maybe you're going to enlighten me. You know?
Yeah.
You
And
know?
they probably will.
Oh, I bet.
Because the world's changing.
Listen.
It's different.
They teach me something every day. I can't say certain things anymore. I'm not cool.
How does that feel to not
I'm
be
cool.
Well,
I'm cool.
Well, I don't think, to be honest.
I'm young and I'm cool.
I don't care what anybody says.
I don't care.
So I had my son as a teenager. So I have literally always been like the young, cool mom.
Yeah.
I have a 10-year-old now, and she's like, you're not young and you're not cool.
Yeah.
And that's really difficult for me to wrap my mind around.
understand.
Because I know for a fact, very cool.
Very cool.
Not like the other moms.
No.
Not like
Absolutely not.
you know what I mean? Hello.
Okay? Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay? My baby thinks I'm so cool.
Well, and that's truly, you know, all that matters.
That's really all that matters. I am 25.
Plus, right?
Yeah, delusional. Live in your delusionment. I'm all about that.
But don't you think in your field you need a certain element of delusion? Because like there's so much opportunity for rejection and like people turning. So like, what are you telling yourself when you're like going after something you really want? Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't work. Like, how do you preserve your confidence? You know what I mean? Because like people are like, I want to try new things, but I'm afraid. And, people could reject it. People don't like you're trying material in front of new people. What are you saying to yourself to not quit?
Listen, you gotta be crazy.
Bresha, you can't.
You gotta be crazy. I mean, honestly, I just did something. I went back on stage. I just did a half-hour special for Hulu. And I literally only had like maybe a month to prepare, and it's, being a mom and a wife, you don't really get to go up and do the circuits like you used to, So I was like, oh my gosh, like, how am I going to do this? You just do it scared. And I have an amazing village and they carry me through, So when I am talking that, like, you can't do the stuff like, oh my God, this joke isn't working. Like, what am I going to do? Is this stupid? Scratch the whole thing. I have to trust the process. I have to trust the people in my life that want me to win. I love my village. And so, when I get down on myself, there's a part of being crazy and being delusional, but also having a team behind you. And we pump each other up. And, we call each other, or they'll be like, girl, you got this in the bag.
Okay.
So it's like, I do have help, because there are times where you get really defeated and, you're like, God, I've been walking with you. I don't see it. I don't know what you're doing. And so, it is really great to have a great village around you of friends that can, just touch and agree, pray for you, pray with you, help you, figure it out with you, So I do have that.
So when these friends are talking to you and they're like reminding you who you are, it gives you the confidence that you need to like get back in the game.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Go team.
Yeah, period.
Go team. It's a team. Like this takes, the energy that you keep around you. It's so important. Like sometimes my husband can be my biggest cheerleader, and sometimes the things that he's saying ain't really what I want to be hearing.
Okay. Like what? Like give me an example.
Like he will tell me before the thing about to happen that it's about to happen, and I don't want it to happen, I don't think. I was like, I don't even got time to be doing it. He was like, Bresha, get ready because it's about to happen. It's about to be like that. I'm like, shut up. You don't know what you talking about. I know what I'm doing.
You say that in your head or you?
Oh, I vocalize it.
And he's anointed to handle that.
Oh, yeah, if that's what you want to say, we are tough skinned.
Wait, I have a few questions.
Listen, are we real or no?
No, we are. No.
That person sees the good side
all of
in
it.
all of it. And so at the end of the day, I sometimes got to say, you're always right. You're right. Because sometimes he be right.
How do you deal with that? Like, because I'm just thinking about, people always ask me, like, what's the hardest part of marriage? And are you 3 years in?
Yeah, we're 3 years.
Okay, so you're 3 years into marriage, and it's really difficult. Like, people say communication, but communication is so vague and broad that it doesn't really fully encapsulate what it means to have communication with your partner. Yeah. And I think it's like we're learning to communicate.
I'm learning to communicate with myself.
Right now. So now I got to communicate with you. And then I have to communicate with you in a way that honors, but then the way it comes up in my head.
And I don't got no filter.
You don't?
No, that's not how he made me.
Have you had to go and purchase one since marrying?
There she is. Yes, I have to go in the prayer closet.
Okay.
Sometimes I have to go ask for forgiveness.
First with him and then with him?
Yeah. Sometimes to him last.
Right. Well, because you want to make sure it's right.
Yeah. I have to get in my
Because them apologies that don't start here, but start here, they don't be right.
That's what he be like, go back. go find it.
Return to sender.
Return to sender.
Did not hit the mark.
Yeah, because you got to show him so he can do the same.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. So when you have like just always been yourself, never had a filter, and then you're in a relationship with someone, intimate relationship with someone, and who you have always been could be damaging to what you're trying to build with that person.
Yep.
Yeah. How do you like not feel like you're betraying yourself in order to show up in this space that you know is good for you, but you don't want to betray? You know what I mean?
Oh, I do. It's a nice dance. It's a dance, you know, where I'm grateful that he has grace for me while I'm trying to figure it out still, because we're both creative.
Sure. Okay.
You know, so that is it's an interesting place because we both get in our own type of creative mind stuff, you know? And so I can respect when he's a writer. So I understand when he's trapped up or when he's caught up in a thing and how he'll communicate to me. And I'll be like, okay, well, this is your time to be in your place. And then I have to, you know, be give and take in that way. And we don't hold it. I'm really proud of us that we don't hold it for too long.
Yeah.
You know, but we're still learning. You know, I take the 3 years. Listen, we're still, we had a baby. So we're still learning how to do that dance. If you have any advice or, you know, how to do the dance, you know, especially having, you know, also women, you know, being in a place of, I don't want to say power, but in a position where people are looking to you.
Yeah.
And to still come home and be submissive. I don't want to say that word either, but to also be in a place where you have to be soft.
It's funny you say that because I tell my husband all the time how submissive I am, and he laughs at that. Because first of all, he's like, if you need to constantly just remind me.
You're not.
I promise I am.
Listen,
you know?
I think I am too sometimes.
Now, is that delusion? Okay, yeah. You know, I think my intention is to be submissive. And I think I get there. And I think I tell him that I'm submissive so that he knows where I have landed was not organic.
It's not organic.
It's not organic to who I am.
Yeah. But you're trying.
But I found a way to get there anyway. And because I trust you. See, and you can't submit to someone who you don't trust.
Yeah, it's important.
I have to be, and trust is built. So early on in the marriage, the idea of just like blind submission was challenging for me because we're still learning how to build a life together. And you know what? But my husband doesn't like, I'm the man you, because that
we wouldn't have been, no. No, I wouldn't have been able to be in no.
No, it's not like I'm the man you submit.
No,
and so I think I cringe when we have those conversations. I think especially in like faith spaces, because it's like, I mean, sure, wives submit to your husband, but like we got to make sure that you're a husband. We're not just like submitting to just men.
Yeah, no, ew.
You know?
Ew, yeah.
Like, are you a husband?
Yeah,
like you're submitted to God. You have a vision for this family. You're taking care of
leadership.
Yeah. Because then it tastes different.
Yeah. You know, I don't trust you if you're not.
Yeah.
You know?
So in your marriage and your journey of like learning to submit, how does it
Listen, it's a dance.
Yeah.
It's a dance, you know, but I do trust the man that he is,
that
you know?
part.
And from there, I can trust myself to be soft, to come home and be vulnerable, to not have to turn it on all the time, to be messy.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm grateful to come home. You know?
He's a soft place for you.
Yeah.
I love that. And I feel like a lot of women want that. They want to believe that it is possible for them to be in the fullness of their gifts, their talents. Can we please say it again?
It's possible. And I think what's great is that my husband always wanted a strong woman. He's always had strong women around him. And so I think that's a part of the thing that attracted him to me also, was that I had my own things. I was doing, I had my own car. I had my own house, like, you know what I'm saying? But, and I had that type of alpha personality. But that's cool, because I had to trust someone to at least take the baggage off and for us to really have a conversation and for us to really connect on some level and say that it's more than just everything like, oh, you look good. Oh, you look, and it's like, we gotta take it all off and be vulnerable or be the part of ourselves that we don't really like showing people.
Yeah. And to let someone else see that part of you.
Yeah.
The parts of me that are undone. Because they meet this part of you that it's like, I've worked hard, and people say that people are meeting their representative, and it's not necessarily this is my representative, that is who I am. But then there are also these other parts of me that are undone. And then in marriage, other parts are coming undone. Like the parts that I thought were germane to who I am are beginning to change.
Yeah.
And now this person is on this journey with you, not just loving who you are, but loving who you are becoming and unbecoming at the same time.
And especially having a child.
Yes.
I saw this quote. Excuse me, I burped too.
Okay, that's nice.
Excuse me.
Well, you're human.
I'm human, but some people are like, oh, I'm burp. I'm like, oh,
Do you fart in front of your husband?
Yes.
So, can we talk about the first time you farted in front of your husband, which is not on the cue cards? It's not on the cue cards, but I just feel called to move in that direction.
Sure. I don't even remember. That's how.
It's just so you just
I can only be me. There's things that I do. He's a Southern guy. He's from Alabama.
Okay.
I'm from Baltimore.
Okay.
There's just some things.
Yes.
The crassness of myself. It's just gonna be what it is. I'm cute. Take it.
And he has.
And he's like, Bresha, seriously? I'm like, yes. Yes.
It's probably because I was raised in the South as well. So the idea, now we've been married 12 years, the idea that I would know a fart was coming and would release it in the same atmosphere as my husband. When I go to bed, I pray, Lord, shut the digestion down. I do not want to fart in front of him.
Girl, you're going to mess up your stomach, your indigestion. Like, you're going to mess up your intestines.
I just can't breathe. But the Lord doesn't allow me to just. You'd be.
That's training.
Do you? Well, and yes, it is.
Yeah.
So
I'm waiting for my training to kick in.
I think I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it's coming.
I don't, because now it is. If I'm real, I feel like those are the best laughs.
Which ones?
When we express. I care so much about his movements. You don't care about your movements, your significant other's movements?
What do you mean you care so much about them?
I know his routine. Look, he gonna be like, don't be telling my business. But I know at a certain time you're gonna have his coffee. I know the routine, and you gotta.
And then so you're like, did you have a good one?
Yeah, how was it? You feel good? You're a little uptight. Have you had your...
Did you get it?
Yeah, you gotta go. You gotta go get it. We gotta leave now. You get that look like...
And...
Now. And that means stop, drop, and roll out, because we ain't doing it here. We gotta do it.
We gotta go somewhere else.
This is gonna be...
Bresha.
You got the stuff with you? You got... if any important situation you in... Do you have the wipes? You're not having these conversations?
No.
Nobody.
Is any...
Am I too much?
No.
Listen. Everybody gonna be like, Bresha, yes, I have wipes in my car.
Because I didn't... Well, I
have... You gotta be strapped up.
That's not what it meant. That's not...
You gotta be ready.
That's not what strapped up meant.
When nature calls, you gotta make sure you're together.
I understand the preparation.
And I don't like doing it I like doing it in my situations, but if, you never know. when the spinach or the kale is going to hit.
Okay. This is a first for the Woman Evolve podcast.
Listen, you asked me to come. I'm here. I'm here.
I just,
People were like, Bresha really is talking about us and her.
the openness in the marriage, that's powerful.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you can't be open with one you love, then...
I cannot believe that you are invested in his bowel movements.
I care about his movements.
Okay. I don't even know where to go from here.
Listen. Not that that's something that's happening, you know?
Okay. Where was your family?
Yes, Sarah. And come on. Get your goofy on.
Did your family care about bowel movements?
No.
So this is rogue.
Yeah, this is
Full circle. We
full
brought it-
circle. Listen, we care.
So your family was open, but not bowel movement open.
I don't know how to go into that. I mean, I think we just care. I don't think I was talking to my dad like, oh,
Sure.
you know,
Uh-huh.
oh, my mom and I for sure, like we're women. I feel like with women, we just talk more so about what's going on internally.
Not every woman.
Wow.
Not at all. But I think it's powerful.
You don't be like, oh, the moon is. Did you start your?
No.
You know, you don't do. Like your girlfriends are all hanging together, and then you guys just all end up on the same cycle.
Yeah, it's synced. But it never just like
Came up in conversation.
when my mother talked to me about sex when I was a kid. This is so funny. She goes, "You remember in the movie Nutty Professor?" And we're like, She's like, when they're talking about relations, and we're like, She's like, "Do y'all know what that is?" And we're like, "No." And she goes, "That's where babies come from." Shortly thereafter, I would become pregnant at 13 years old.
Well,
that was the extent of our sex conversation.
What?
No. They're like, see, and that's why when you say you grew up in, and maybe everyone is talking about it. Because when I was like talking about
when
sex.
Jodeci and
I know,
all
but
of them were just out there.
They just act like don't listen to it.
Let me lick you up and down.
Yes.
Like, what do you think they're talking about?
No.
Ice cream?
And that my sex education came from music.
Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah. That's not what happened to me. My mom was a sexual education professor, and she worked other things, but she was very. She was very vocal, and she was very just helpful in, helping me and whoever was around me about the dangers of sex and how, just being aware, of what happens when things like that happen. Inappropriate touch. I remember
that is not normal. I cannot accept that that's normal. I mean, I think it's great. I think it should be the norm. Yeah. I think I'm doing a better job with my daughters. Like, we talk about their bodies and sex differently, but
I think that's why I'm always like caring about the movements, Maybe because I'm just open in that way.
I do think that is part of it, but I don't don't know if that's all of it. But if that is like become so normalized, so like what's a bowel movement to a girl who's well versed in sexual education? Nothing. A bodily function.
Yeah, like the baby doesn't come out of your belly button.
Right.
Everyone, I remember that conversation. I was maybe in second or third grade, and everyone was having a conversation about where babies come from. And the consensus was that babies come out of your belly button. That's why your belly button's there. And I was like, that is not how it happens, guys. It comes out of your vagina.
Third grade.
Third grade,
Letter sent home.
Listen, no. Actually, I'm from Baltimore City. I went to an inner city school. So they're like, please teach.
Okay. So you have been affirmed in this honesty and candor as well.
Yes, I knew, I knew about, listen, this is yours. You do what you want. This is your private property. And if anyone touches your purse, Tell me. Like I knew very early about what was going on, what could be done, STDs, all of the things, the dangers if you don't protect yourself. You must protect yourself or you'll wreck yourself. Still to this day, guys.
Even right now,
Even right
PSA
now.
brought
My
to you.
mom sent me to college with a trash bag of condoms. She said, this is the way you're going to meet all of your classmates. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Okay? Wait for it.
Okay.
I put the condoms on the door, and she said, this is how you'll meet all of your classmates, all of the people. And I did. And people knew.
Wait.
Yes, because they're going to.
So yeah.
At least when they...
No, I'm not there yet. No.
No. I mean, I was just very adamant on protecting yourself.
So trash bag of condoms.
Yeah, like I really wanted to help people in their exploration of knowing, look, if you're going to come to me or know about me, know that I'm about sex prevention and sex protection. For Christian parents, I know that it's very taboo to talk about sex, but...
Well, I think the beauty of people who listen to this podcast is that they have all different types of life experiences. And so it's
I had a conversation with myself in the car.
What was that?
Bresha, be honest, but,
No, everything's great. I'm going back to school. I'm studying human development and family studies.
Really?
And yes, sexual education is a greater deterrent from risky sexual behavior than talks about abstinence or just talks about, how the body works and functions. So there is a place for us to be having these conversations. We did a panel at Woman Evolve one year about sexual education. So it's like not off the realms of our discussions to have it. I am just marveling at the fact that most of the times when I have conversations with women who grow up specifically in like faith environments, that they had parents who were so open about having those conversations. I don't think I've ever met anyone whose parents were so vocal about sex education.
Yeah, they were. And I was around other kids that were having kids, early. Mm-hmm. And I thank them because I could have been in situations very easily.
Yeah.
If I was not prepared or if I wasn't knowledgeable about the thing. And I had aspirations and dreams and I wanted to do those things. And, I make jokes about it, but, I honestly, your life can shift so quickly. And you could be put in situations if you're not knowledgeable. Now, I was scared to a place that I did not want to try anything.
Yeah.
But I also saw so many things happening around me that I really wanted to be a part of the... It's also saying, let's prevent it and let's not have sex and be a part of the ministry. And I was part of Diamond Ministry and, you are the diamond,
Oh, yeah, purity culture.
Purity culture, mm-hmm. Pure, But also in that purity culture, we had friends that were also exploring. So why not also protect yourself if you are exploring, And so those situations won't affect you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Positive or, in any way. But you have control over that.
Was your mom primarily facilitating conversation? Obviously, I'm imagining your dad.
I had questions. I was open. Mm-hmm. My father, he was open to it, but he knew I had my mother who was so much more knowledgeable, and I had lots of questions. And I'm grateful I had a place to answer, and I didn't have to go outside of my house to figure it out. And I feel like that's where the conversation should start. Now, I know when it comes my time to be the mother,
yes,
and I'm talking to my daughter,
yes,
it might be like, oh no, you can't be doing that. But also, that is a part of human nature. Mm-hmm. That is a part of growth. You can only protect so long.
Yeah. Why
not protect them in that phase too and give them the knowledge and the tools that they need in order to explore or not explore. You want to give them as much, knowledge, as much as you can. But I also want to protect and help them learn how to protect themselves as well.
I wonder, because you're obviously thinking like down the road and when your moment comes with that form of parenting, do you ever worry about balancing motherhood as your daughter grows? I'm not sure if you guys want to have more children or will have more children, like about balancing it all and being present. Like what comes up for you when you think about all of the other things you have to forecast for?
Oh, it's really difficult to that sends me up an anxiety wall, you know, and what I chuck that up to is God's going to do what God's going to do. I can't really worry about that right now because especially in this industry, you know, I just did a project that took me away from home for 3 months, you know, and I tried to come home as much as possible, but of course it taught me a valuable, you know, I was able to realize and feel the impact of I can't have my daughter with me every moment. And that was really difficult for me. But this is also my way of living and my way of making a living and my dream. So I can't really get in the mix of that, like, because I just have to trust that more opportunities will come where I will be able to take my daughter with me or whatever works for my family, for my husband and I, because he's also in the industry. So it's like I can only be present right now.
Yeah.
You know, and just do as much as I can right now and let God continue to do what he's doing because he's been doing it all along and I've gotten this far, so I can't be worried about tomorrow and get anxious, right? Be anxious for nothing. So I can't get wrapped up in that. That sends me up an anxiety wall. Like, how am I going to be a mom when she's 16 and she needs me there every day? Well, God, I know you're going to find me a project that's going to keep me in LA or wherever we need to be. Or maybe there's a project that my husband and I are going to develop. I can't control that, you know? I think that just is what comes with this, choosing this lane of work. You know, there's so much that you just have to throw up your hands to. Like, you know, you put your all into something and you go in, you give it your all, and then you kind of have to let it go. And that's the relief and also the trauma. You know, of it all. But, you know, that's what I signed up for. And it, you know, whether it's me being delusional and me walking in that and just holding on to my faith and just praying that it, you know, all works out in my favor. It always does. So I just have to trust that.
That makes me think about people who are entrepreneurs or trying to be content creators.
Yes. You can't control what's going on, you know? You just really can't. You just have to put your best out there and just keep going and seeing what else is going to happen. Yeah. You know, I didn't know I was going to be talking about farts and then that turns into...
It's my fault because I asked the question.
I didn't know it was going to go into that.
You burped, and then I was like, you know, maybe, but then I didn't know, and we went down a beautiful road.
Really? Because, you know, I was like, you know, Sarah, we're going to get close today. I didn't know we were getting this close, but look at us.
Look at us.
Look at us.
I am curious, you know, the theme for this week is like when healing isn't pretty. And I can imagine because you bring so much joy and you have so many moments of light that I think other people get to experience. Like, do you mind sharing a moment for us when you were going through something where you were healing, you know, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, in whatever way, and you had some moments where you weren't sure that you would ever return back to who you are?
Okay, well, y'all about to go take me to the king questions.
No. I mean, we've covered farts, bowel movements,
we have,
education.
listen, this is a full podcast, guys.
Well, Woman Evolves is about the whole woman.
Oh, okay. Well, we've really, we've gone through it.
Yeah,
Up and through it. I guess there's two moments, but, you know, my faith in God has really... There's nothing that I really don't believe he's not going to bring me out of.
That's great.
You know, even when I think about my father passing, even through that, you know, I just, looking back through that, and every time I do, I just think about how God carried me through it with such grace. You know, I was working in New York. I wasn't in LA. I didn't have to be schlucking across, the airports of LA, trying to get back and forth to my family. So working in New York, keeping my mind focused on work and navigating through that, which was difficult, but also my passion and what my father would have wanted me to do instead of stressing about him, but also giving me the opportunity to go home and on the weekends and being a part of a team that allowed me to do that. And then having the space to release it and walk through that and still be at work, which at the time was difficult, but I found joy in that too, because I was still doing what I loved and I had people around me that I enjoyed working with and being funny with. And I just knew that there was going to be a rainbow.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going through this. My dog died, I'm going through so much right now. But I just knew there was going to be a rainbow for me. And, my rainbow was my baby. My rainbow was my wedding. My rainbow was so many, my marriage, what's coming, what's here, that was the joy of it, So I just know it's like, life is seasons. My dad used to always say that, He was like, there's a season for everything and you're going to have to go through these seasons, but know that there's a rainbow, there's something on the other side of it. So go through it and you'll be better. Once you get through the others, when you get through that season, through winter, there's spring, through spring, there's summer, there's so many different seasons, but try to find a moment to breathe and just pass through it. And know that people are looking at you and carrying you.
Yeah.
Yes, they're looking at you, but there's so many people that I feel took a different approach to grief, watching me go through it, showing up as my best self that day.
Yeah.
And still wanting to be Bresha. And whatever Bresha is, joyful, jubilant Bresha, funny, chings, and being okay if that wasn't me in that moment. But also just giving myself grace and seeing people just go, you know what, Bresha, I don't know how you did that.
Yeah.
I said, but you being here and supporting me and knowing that you already knew what I was going through, it helped me in some way. It's weird, I feel like the people that God brings around you during certain times that would pat me on the back or give me a little encouragement will keep me going.
Yeah.
It's weird, and then I had my pregnancy with my baby and it was really difficult. And it was just a lot of things that were happening. I was hospitalized for a lot of it. And, I was okay though, because I knew I was going to be covered.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a moment, but I trust in God, and I know He's going to bring me through it.
Yeah.
And let's see what the next chapter's going to be. Let's see what's going to be on the other side of this. What am I going to discover about myself?
I think about grief a lot. My dad is 68, my mom is 70, and a lot of their conversations center around them being like at the latter part of their life, the latter stages of their life. And I think as much as I try to like not think about it, I think them turning their face towards their legacy and how they want to spend their, remaining years forces me to kind of look at it. And I'm curious, like, are there things that you would tell those of us who still have, our dads that have shaped, that can shape, I guess, the way that we connect with them? And I guess even losing one parent, does it change the way that you are maybe more intentional with your remaining parent? Like, what advice would you give us?
Well, Sarah.
Uh-oh.
My mom's in town this week. Don't do that. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Because you're preparing yourself. because it's the natural progression of life. But you enjoy them, ask them questions, be present. And that's hard. It's very hard. My mom doesn't live here in LA. I was literally talking to my husband about this because his mom's coming in town, and we're trying to make these moments that'll be great for both of them to enjoy their grandbabies and stuff. You just try your best to. And my husband calls me so traditional, because
He calls you traditional.
He calls me traditional.
He calls you traditional.
Yeah.
Unpack that.
Because you understand this being the daughter.
Mm-hmm.
He has both of his parents. And I don't know. It's just like being the daughter comes a different responsibility and weight.
Caretaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm the oldest, so you have to be the one to fix it, to show up, to be there. And I don't take it as like a burden or anything, but it is an honor. But also, you feel, you can have those feelings, but I always feel like, I have to do this because this could be.
Yeah.
And my mom has dealt with health issues. Like last year, she was in the hospital, and we didn't think that was going to work. But praise God, she's back. And she was able to fly here, and she's healthy right now. So I'm grateful. So I say, if you have both of your parents, just love on them as much as you can. Do as much as you can. Ask as many questions as you can, even the questions that hurt to ask. Just do all of those things. I try to get my mom to write those I see those things on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
You write those
Did she do them?
No.
I bought my mom one too.
Yeah. Because they got so much wisdom. You just want to turn to a page when you miss them. And it's interesting because me and my dad were very close, and I love you and your father's relationship. I love the conversation you did with him. It was beautiful. And I would just laugh because I just expected me to be like, oh, Daddy, and I'm not. I don't really feel like he's left, really. I feel him and I see him, and I see him a lot when my mom is here. We'll play music, we'll do all the things that he would love to do, and I'll randomly see a butterfly or a ladybug or something, and I'm like, oh, hey, Daddy, But yeah, just love on them, y'all. It's a hard bridge. You're just always preparing yourself. But, what a gift to still have them. Maybe
we should give them like a voice recorder.
I did that one too. But
Rebellion.
But also I also have to give her space that she don't want to go there.
I don't want to, right. Why would I want to do that?
Why would I want to do that? Why would I want to usher her through that type of grief before it even happens, So I just take it. She was fussing at me because I didn't get her Starbucks this morning. And I was like, you got eggs in that, maybe I shouldn't have went in on her too hard like that, So I told my husband, go get her some Starbucks. We know what she wants,
Isn't it funny too that like, as much as they are our parents, like we're also in this stage where like we kind of get to tell them what to do, but then they don't listen.
Oh yeah, my mom. I talk about my mom and her Pepsis.
Yeah,
like she's not supposed to have that many Pepsis. Like I am mothering
and
her.
the same doctor who said it to you, like I heard it and you heard it, and yet you're still
lying and saying this is my first Pepsi today.
Isn't that something?
It's crazy. They turn into tea. I call her a queen-ager.
Oh, I like. I like that. A queen-ager.
She's rebellious, honey.
Okay, we're gonna do rapid fire.
Oh God.
What is something ordinary that you find beautiful?
My braid down. No? It's beautiful.
What is it? Why?
There's art.
They're not just straight backs, or
no. I want a beehive. I want there's an art. to knowing what you're going to do before you do it. You want to have options. So you got to create a roadmap. Hey, if it's a straight back, that's a beautiful straight back sometimes. But I like a little artiste with it. I like a little map, like a little road map.
Well, the ancestors.
Absolutely. I like to go back.
Okay.
I like the ancestors to speak to me when I get my braid down.
Nice. What's a hill you will die on?
What's a hill that I saw that question. I was like, I give up pretty easily.
Okay.
I'm not dying on no hills.
I mean, the bowel movement conversation and the necessity of it is.
Hey, if you don't want to talk about your bowel movement, don't talk about it. But
okay, well, no.
I'm not going to die on it.
I'm not going to die on it. First of all, Jesus died on the hill for me. Why would I?
And that's enough.
Why would I get on the hill and he's already done the work?
He already done the work.
I will give up too. One of my favorite things to do is when I'm giving advice to someone and I can tell you don't want to listen. To be honest, I don't really care what you do. I'm just offering you this advice, but do what you want to do.
Let them. That book released me.
I haven't read it, but I've heard powerful things about it.
You got to let them. I have really adopted that in this chapter of life. And I just... Oh, you don't want to hear it? Fine, let them.
Let them.
What, you going to feel the way you going to feel anyway. I ain't got to die on no hills.
Okay, so no hills.
I'm a walk.
Okay.
I'm going to walk off the hill.
Glammed up or hoodie?
Oh, it depends on the day, really. I love a hoodie. I love him. I love my husband's hoodie. I love his stuff.
His stuff is nice.
His stuff is nice.
I love when my husband goes shopping because I know it's on the way to me.
But on me, it looks like, oh, God, because he's so big. I'm so little. And I will roll those pants up and I will sport
the commitment to thievery in that it doesn't even fit you and yet here you are.
I'm outside. I'm outside looking like Schmut. What's that little character off of Big Al? You know, the one with the big hat and big clothes.
Yes.
That's me.
Okay.
That's me. Catch me. Catch me outside.
Bresha, if you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
God, no.
What?
No.
Did you not hear the question?
I did. Why do I have to choose?
Because this is where it's paradise and the world has been shaken up and you're not in the dome.
I don't want to choose.
You got to.
No, do they have all the things that I like? Do they have the salad dressing? Do they have the person that makes it?
You can make this meal your own, but it's the only thing you're eating for the rest of your life.
For the rest of my life?
For the rest of your life.
I don't want to imagine that, Sarah. I don't want to. I love food too much. I could say Jamaican, but then I might want Asian the next day. I might want pizza. I don't know.
You have to.
I'm indecisive. I told you I'm not dying on no hills. I'm not.
You're skipping this question.
I am, because I don't want to imagine a life where I can't have food that I want whenever I want it.
Okay.
Why is that? Why would you have to do that?
Because it's like fun. It's like fun.
I'm not having fun. I want to eat what I want to eat. I want sushi. I want
Is there anything
pizza.
you don't eat?
Insects. I haven't tasted a good insect before, so no. But I do, like when I watch Fern Gully, and I watch
Watch what?
Fern Gully. Remember that cartoon, Fern Gully?
No, go ahead.
And what was that cartoon? You remember when they bite the bugs? Oh, and Lion King, when they go and they be biting the bugs.
What did that do for you?
It just looks like it would taste good, you know? And even though it's a cartoon, like my child watches it, and I'll be like, yo, doesn't that look good? Hakuna Matata. I don't act to my age. I am aware of that.
Which is why you're a cool mom.
Come on. Thank you.
I'm concerned, but I'm going to ask anyway. The last one, I think. Oh, no. Okay, I have to ask you this.
Okay.
What is something you are surprisingly good at that has nothing to do with your career?
Oh, gosh. I've shared so much. That I'm surprisingly good at that has nothing to do.
Like maybe you're an artist, cooking.
Cook, but I'm not like the
surprisingly
best.
good at it.
I'm great. I mean,
can you braid your own hair?
Sure. I mean, can't you?
But for sure, you have to be able to do that.
Okay.
No.
I'm trying to think.
Honestly, you're not very good at rapid fire. It was like, what is something you're surprisingly bad at? We would put rapid fire.
Don't put rapid fire. I have too many ideas, and I might come up with it when I'm halfway home.
Yeah.
But right now in this moment, what am I really good at? Like, looking at flowers, I can do really good floral arrangements.
Okay.
Like, I can put flowers together. I have a very good interior decorator eye.
Okay.
I feel like I would have done really good at that if I didn't become an actress.
That counts.
I think so.
Final question. For what has been a riveting conversation.
Listen.
We've covered it all.
Listen, my mom's going to be like, what did you say? You told them that? I was like, I think it's hilarious. And everyone's like, what?
It's going to be great. The people are going to love it. What was like, okay, fill in the blank.
Okay.
I knew I was evolving when...
I knew I was evolving when I got married and had a baby. That was something I was so focused on just my career and doing the thing. So to allow myself the space to fall in love, to allow myself to release and have a baby, like that takes a lot of exhale. I get that movie now. It takes a lot to exhale. You gotta wait to you see. Yeah, but I feel like I that's when I realized, I'm like, wow, Bresha, look at you evolving.
I was going to say, only because it's actually going to help someone.
Oh.
I would like to ask a follow-up question.
Oh, Lord.
And it's just like you said, I had to allow myself to make space for love and a family. There's someone who maybe is listening and they're thinking to themselves, I don't want anything that could even potentially mess up my life.
Yeah.
What do you know now about becoming a wife and a mother that you didn't know before you allowed that space?
I think what I know now that I didn't know then is that being a wife and a mother requires so much of you really loving yourself deeply. First.
Yeah.
Because you have to, I feel like I'm my best when I'm able to take those deep breaths and I'm able to sit with myself and take full self-assessment of where I am and then come out, have my time to pray and to just have my time. Like, it's very important for me to have my time. And I would just be so into whatever else I was doing, whether it was, I got to rush and do this, I got to rush and do that. Now I've really just taken the time to slow down and to appreciate myself.
Yeah.
And to allow myself the space to heal and to love myself. And every chapter, forgive myself.
Yeah.
Reconcile in myself, like things that I probably have just, that I'm ashamed of, that I kept hidden. But when I heal those things, and as I'm still healing those things, and as I'm still being delivered through those things, I feel like that allows me to mother better and to be a wife and be more present. And I'm loving that about this chapter, allowing myself to be like, girl, I got to drop the baby off.
Yeah.
I got to drop the baby off. Get that nanny over here. I'm grateful that I have that space in my life, and I've allotted myself that in my life where I can afford to be able to take that time, because I understand there's so many women that don't have that space to do it. But I understand my mother eating French fries in the car.
Oh, yes.
And, just taking the time.
Yes.
You gotta take that time. No rushing. Sit down.
Yeah.
Because
they're going to take the time from you. If you don't take the time.
If you don't take the time for you,
it's going to get took.
Yeah. So.
Well, this week's podcast was supposed to be about when healing isn't pretty. But I will say that I think that you have offered us a beautiful perspective about when healing is pretty, because you've been honest about, life not always being easy, and there's certainly being moments where you had to heal, but how your faith and how your commitment to keeping your light and maintaining your joy made the difference in those moments. And I think a lot of times we focus on how hard life can be and how healing isn't always pretty, but I think that you have offered us a perspective of what it can look like for healing to be pretty. And so thank you. I appreciate you.
Well, thanks, Sarah.
There is not one thing in the world that could have prepared me for the conversation to start talking about poop. I couldn't, nothing could have prepared me, but it was a good time. I hope that you all enjoyed it and it brought joy to your life and to your day. And share it. Let someone else hear the randomness and the craziness of this episode. I pray that it will bless them in the same way that it blessed me to spend time with her. Lord, thank you so much for the gift of joy and laughter and being willing to not take ourselves so seriously all of the time. It is our heart to make the best of the life that you have given us. And sometimes we do that by putting so much pressure on ourselves. God, I pray that even if this podcast didn't do it, that there will be something that happens throughout their day, their week, this next month, that reminds them that in a world full of pressure, it is okay to have peace, to experience joy and laughter, and if at all possible, to make sure that they do that on purpose. God, thank you so much for allowing me to serve what you're doing in the lives of your people. I pray that I'm making you proud and that I'm being a good steward over all that you have entrusted me with. Lord, correct me, challenge me, affirm me, validate me so that I can do better next week when I gather with your people. In Jesus' name, amen. I love you, and I'll see you hopefully without this neck brace soon. I'm almost there. It's at least where I'm going to get my MRI again, and I'll be able to tell what's going on in my life. All right, talk soon.